Hey everybody, welcome to the show that was always a believer. That's right, it's 5 minutes you won't get back. A little show wastes 5 minutes of your time. But just remember the 5 minutes doesn't start until, of course, we say it does. I'm Brian.
I'm Heather. And true or false? In 1967, true, according to the Google, because, you know, the internet. Anyway, so true or false? The Monkees outsold the Rolling Stones and the Beatles combined in 1967.
Oh, that year.
Just that year.
The Beatles have sold more than the Monkees overall.
The Monkees sold
more than those combined in that 1 year.
Yes.
Ooh. I think it could possibly be true because that's the year I think that everything 66, 67, I think. But I'm going to say false on that one.
Should have stuck with your guts.
Dang it. True. So that 1 year they did.
So yeah. Okay, so here's another fun fact about
over 75 million albums sold. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. And then did you know that Gene Roddenberry actually used Davy Jones to help create the character of Chekhov in Star Trek?
I did not know that.
Yep.
Huh. That makes sense. I can see the similarities. Those two should have hung out.
Yep.
And they could have...
Yep. He based Chekhov on Davy Jones.
Yeah,
so
I can definitely see that. Yeah, actually, yeah, I can. You put those two in a picture together. I'm not going to do that here. I'll do that later.
Yep.
Anyway.
Not in the current, you know, like when he was originally created.
Correct. Yeah, not anyway.
Back in those days.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, okay. So, am I even bothering to set a timer?
Set the timer. The 5 minutes starts now. We're going to go longer.
Yeah, probably.
In honor of Mike from... This is going to be a monkey show if you haven't figured it out. I've got my hat on today in respect. And this is a show where I'm going to talk about... this is actually might get a little serious because they mean a lot to me. When got the news that Mike passed away, I was sitting there thinking about stuff, and I'm like, dang, yeah, there's a lot of influences, and I'll share those real quick and get all sentimental and junk. But anyway, before we begin that, though, and it's going to be me talking most of the time, I was going to ask Heather, so who was your favorite Monkee out of the four? I've got a tie for two, so you can tie.
Well, okay, Davey.
Yeah.
He's cute.
Cute.
He was all, and he was. I mean, they were all fun, kind of like fun-loving guys. But yeah, I like Davey the best.
Okay.
Plus, he had an accent.
There you go. Girls always like the accents.
I wonder if girls in like other countries
think American accents. This is going to be so much longer than 5 minutes. But
I'll bet not. But anyway, okay.
Why can't other women from other countries like American?
You know what? That's another 5 minutes.
Southern accents, I think, kill it overseas. I don't know. Am I right? Am I horribly wrong? I think I'm actually horribly wrong.
I don't know. But anyway, that can be another talk.
Yeah, so,
add that to the list.
So yeah, mine's a tie for Mike and Mickey.
Mickey. Okay,
now let me preface with I'm referring to the characters they played on the show, not who they were in real life.
Okay.
Mickey probably beat out Mike just a little bit because Mickey was always like the crazy person. He always seemed so comfortable in front of camera.
Yeah.
And he was almost like he was like an animaniac.
Yeah, I can see that.
So when I watched it, because once again, I was born, 69, so I grew up with them in the late 70s when I was in grade school, and but yeah, so Mickey was definitely the fun one. I liked Mike though because once again, in real life too, he was the leader. He was a serious guy. I thought Mike and Mickey were nice contrasts.
Okay.
And I felt like with classical comedians like Laurel and Hardy and stuff like that, you always have to have the serious guy.
Yeah.
And I thought those two were perfect balance. So I enjoyed those two. And yes, Davey was brought along to be the cute guy to sing the love songs. As a young boy, I could care less. and Peter was just, once again, not like he was in real life, but the character Peter played was just kind of a goofball, kind of clueless. Uh-huh. And I kind of didn't really, it's like... He was kind of, I hate to say it, but he was kind of throwaway for me. I mean, they were all necessary for the show, but I felt like, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So those were my two favorite characters. But Mickey probably did top it off.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I guess I'll transfer over to why they mean so much to me. It's odd. Growing up, like, when I was listening to music, I had listened to the Beatles. I grew up on rock music with my dad. And, he didn't he didn't really listen to the Monkees. But I mean, I look back on it and I feel like music was so serious, even rock music. I mean, in retrospect, it wasn't always serious. I know that, but it seemed like, I don't want to say the Monkees made it more fun for me.
Okay.
But I think the Monkees were probably my entry level into really enjoying rock music, because I felt like as a kid that all these rock musicians seemed so serious, so brooding. Like I said, I was a kid. Anyway, but when I saw the Monkees, I felt like they had good songs. Mm-hmm. Even though at the beginning they didn't write them. They had good songs, and they were having fun, and they didn't take themselves seriously. And even as a kid, I thought musicians seem to take themselves really seriously. And I feel like, now in the 80s with the hair bands, maybe not so much, but I feel like there is a progression of rock and hard rock and stuff where people take themselves really super seriously. And that was an inspiration for me to latch on to certain parts of music where... And once again, this carries on to me today, where I want to see the musicians having fun. I know there's times to be serious in a song if you want to share something, but even on their songs where they're being serious, they're still interjecting this weird wackiness. Mm-hmm. Once again, it was a studio-made show with preconceived ideas of what they were going to do, and even how they filmed it was new and unique for that time, as far as like a sitcom or a comedy. You know, it wasn't linear. It was. They could be having a discussion in their apartment one day or 1 minute, and then all of a sudden they're dressed as ninjas, fighting. We're already out of fight. We're gonna go long.
I'll just turn that.
But off. Fighting samurais at the beach the next minute.
Yeah.
You know. So
just to be clear, okay. I know. We've been watching some diet. So basically, the Monkees were a TV show first, and they weren't necessarily all musicians to begin with.
Right, because Mickey had never played drums or anything. Okay, so some of them were musicians.
Okay. But so like the TV show came first, and that was the first
TV
thing.
Show.
The music was kind of a result of the TV show.
No, the TV show and the music came first. The guys came later. The songs were written.
Okay.
So anyways, and it's funny too, because I know there was frustrations within the Monkees that, you know, they weren't writing their own material. I mean, I hate to say it, but the stuff that was written by outside songwriters is still my favorite stuff. Mm-hmm. When they released albums of their original music, I never felt like it was like as good, but that's neither here nor there. They still were my inspiration for loving music and getting into music, and the fun behind it, you know? Mm-hmm. And you'll see, like, once again, my inspiration for doing stuff, if you look at the stuff I do, because once again, for those of you that know me, let me preface by saying the Monkees started as a make-believe band. And I have a band. It's called the Giggle Snort Motel, and I know you've heard of it because I talk about it all the time. But when I first started it was a make-believe band on social media. So what? So my inspiration for that was directly tied to, you know, what they do or what they did. So, you know, and, you know, even as artists outside that, like Mike Nesmith, who did so much outside of the Beatles, outside of the Monkees, which, once again, the stuff he did and his perfectionism, and sometimes it's hard to get along with isms that he had because he was wanting everything so perfect. There's so many things I can relate to. So for me, yes, they are definitely the start of my artistic endeavors within music, and also in film and video. When I do the music videos I do, when I come up with ideas for Giggle Snort, I think back to the Monkees. In fact, when we started Giggle Snort and I actually had people, I told them all, thank the Monkees. You know, I don't want to take what we do seriously, in the sense that we want to create good stuff, but we want to make sure everybody knows we're having fun with it. And we want everybody else to have fun with it as well.
But isn't there a difficult balance? Because I know from watching you work, that you have a high level of expectation and perfection. I mean, you it's not that you don't take what you do seriously. Like you no matter what it is, your level of expectation can be is high. I mean, even on yourself. I'm just you have a high, and I think that you always strive for hitting over. I know you can't really hit over 100%. I know that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, you put everything and you want it to be the best you can. And do you think that that's, and then I don't know what I'm trying to say, but then still have fun. I mean, some people have a hard time with that. So I can see where you're talking about, like, especially musicians, whether rock or otherwise, have a hard time, kind of music. But still being silly, but then maintaining this image of still putting 100% in. Right. So there's a balance there, once again, of getting, because there are songs that you're serious with, but always maintaining the balance of, yes, but people still know you don't take yourself seriously as much. I mean, at least you give that impression. I mean, you take yourself seriously in your art, but once again, but we're not going to be pretentious. We're not going to be, we play rock, man, rock on, we don't smile in a picture, man. I do that too. But anyway, but yeah, just that. It's the image, I think, just that level, with it. Yeah, it's being not afraid to, like, be silly. Yeah, and if people think you're being stupid for being silly. So anyways, that's always been my inspiration, and I think it always will be, and I don't think some people get it, some people don't. I'm okay with that. But that's the more of them we lose, we got Mickey left, the more we lose them, the more it hurts more, because and you always think they're always going to stay young. You always think your artists are going to stay where they were. And I hadn't seen Mike play in a while, and I saw the last concert. Somebody on YouTube posted the last show they did a few weeks ago, and watching him, it's just like, dang, I mean, it's sad, but at the same time, he was able to come back and play those last shows, and able to do it a couple weeks out. Some people might be like, well, that's not a cool way to go. I think it's an awesome way to go, because real quick, and then I'm done. We had talked about the fact that Mike, when he left the Beatles, he didn't really. The Monkees. Thank you. That's another documentary. There is a similarity there, but that's why they created the show, because they wanted a Beatles. Anyway, but when Mike wasn't happy with the output of the Monkees, he wasn't. I don't know if he's necessarily proud of it, but it wasn't something he dwelled on, and he kind of pushed back at it. And I was reading an article just the other day about how, as he did this tour, he was actually happy that he did it, and it was good to see that he came full circle. He could enjoy the music for what it was and be proud of it before he left this plane. So, yeah. So there you go. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Davey. And Mickey. Like I said, you got maybe you can last a little bit more longer than the next year or two. So, anyways, but yeah, I just want to say thank you to those guys for the inspiration they gave me. And if you ever get aggravated at the dumb stuff I do, well, then all you need to do is blame it on the Monkees. So. That's all I got. Anyway, before I get emotional, which I'm about to. Anyway, I'm Brian. I'm Heather.
And just remember, it isn't a great day until we wasted 5 minutes of your time. And we'll see you next week.
Yay! Or 10 minutes of your time.
10 minutes time. Yeah, we'll see you next week. In all
fairness, we had we kept the time pretty tight the last couple, so we're just making up for it.
That's right.